There's a common mistake that is still happening amongst business owners today that are trying to grow their businesses online or using social media or Google to grow their business. And they're always asking us, Daryl, how do we get more traffic to our website? They'll open up their analytics and they'll say, oh, we see our numbers going up and down. We were getting a lot more traffic. Well, I've got news for you. Traffic doesn't pay the bills. Now, behind this and underneath this, I know what you're saying. You're saying, I really want more leads and sales, but you're thinking that traffic is required to get more leads and sales. And in this video, I'd like to help you think about it a slightly different way. The problem with just sending more traffic to your website is you think all of those visitors are ready to buy today. The reality is if you had a video go viral on social media, the vast majority of those people are not going to even be your customers. If you had a blog post take off on your website and get you 1 million views on your website, the vast majority of those people are not your prospects anyway. Why? Because in any given time period in your business cycle, there are only going to be so many people, what's called in market, who are ready to buy. So rather than thinking that you need more traffic, what I'm going to invite you to consider is to think about 2 or 3 different things that I'm going to talk about here in just a moment that I think will help shift your mind so that you can really focus on the thing that matters to generating more revenue for your business. Here's something that most of you don't recognize that is a golden opportunity when people are coming to your website today and why you shouldn't be chasing more traffic. The number one thing that we see is when we look at analytics through our 90-day sprint process in our agency, which is a process we take our clients through whenever they come to work with us, whether they're in our inner circle or whether they are working with our agency. One of the things we do is we do an analysis on the visitors that are touching their website and what pages they're looking at. We have a way to look at Google Analytics and look at the path that every visitor takes when they arrive on the website. Now, if they don't opt in and become a lead, we do have to look at just the visitor behavior. We won't know who they are because they didn't become a lead, but we find something very interesting. And that is, there's a different behavior pattern if they come in from a blog post than if they come in through the homepage, than if they come in through a service or a product page, than if they come in through a page like a case study or a lead magnet. And what's interesting about what I'm saying is that when it comes to thinking about needing more traffic, what we really want you to focus on is thinking about the behaviors of your most ideal prospects. And in today's world, especially thinking about Google, when most people are saying, I want more traffic from Google, we're fighting a little bit of an uphill battle because of the AI overviews. And if you're familiar with that, all you gotta do is go Google some stuff going on in your industry, Google some of your keywords, Google some of your words that your prospects might be typing in, and you'll notice the AI overviews coming up at the top of the page. This isn't a conversation about AI overviews because that is the state that we're in, which is also putting a hurt on you getting more traffic and why we are not concerned about it at our agency at all. What we are thinking about is how do we understand the right people coming to our website? How do we understand the right behaviors they're taking? And how do we put the right content on their website that will actually get them to convert more? One of the first things we think about with our clients in the first 90 days during our 90-day sprint process is we start to wonder if we can capture some of those visitors as they are leaving the website. And we use a technique that's very simple, it's very popular, it's been around forever. Some people misuse it, some people do it right. We like to say that we do it right. And that is, we simply make an exit intent invitation for visitors depending on the page that they land on. Let me put this in perspective. Let's say that you have a blog post, and let's say you're in the plumbing niche, and let's say that this blog post is about water heater repair. Let's say that the person came into the website, which we can see through the analytics package, and they must have Googled something related to a problem with a water heater. Well, what we can presume is that they either have a problem today, or they know someone who's had a problem, or something is happening that's making them somewhat concerned. Well, if they are not ready to buy today, and let's say that post isn't a buyer-aware piece of content, then we might make an invitation with an exit intent pop-up, which means as they go to exit the page, we might slide something in from the bottom, make it pop up from the top, slide in from the, it's a pop-up, it's an exit intent pop-up. But rather than stop you from reading the content the minute you get there, we just invite you to take something with you on the way out the door. And on the way out the door, that might be simply a free guide on how to make sure your water heater is fully serviced so you don't end up with an uh-oh and your hot water heater blows up. Now, I'm making this up on the fly, but you get the idea. What we do is we like to use exit intent pop-ups or exit intent invitations that are relevant to the type of content they came to see in the first place. So as you're building your website, and as let's say you're a law firm, for example, and maybe you practice in 4 or 5 different areas of law. Well, all of your content on your website should be categorized appropriately. Let's say, for example, you're a probate attorney, you do some probate work. Let's say you do some estate work. Let's say you do some business law work. And let's say you do some personal injury work. Those are 4 distinct areas of law practice. Well, all of the content that's on the website are going to map to one of those categories or topics. I like to say, think aisles in the grocery store, right? When I go in the grocery store, and if I'm looking for pasta, I would expect to find pasta right next to the pasta sauce, right next to all of the things that are related to cooking those types of meals. Well, if someone comes into the website and they're reading a post about business law, then maybe I'll make an invitation for them to take something with them on their way, like a free guide to protecting your business assets with an LLC or something like that. This is a low-hanging fruit fix to your marketing and to not just trying to go get more traffic, but how to convert the existing traffic that's coming that most people just miss. The lazy part is a lot of the software tools that we use today, whether it's HubSpot, whether it's Salesforce, whether it's any of the email tools, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, any of these, they all produce the ability to create one of these pop-ups. But most of you create a global pop-up and expect all visitors to want the same thing. And when we come in, we say, let's get specific about the buyer persona who might be visiting that section of the website and understand what the problems, pains, and frustrations are of those people and give them something super specific, but then hide that pop-up from people who visit other areas of the website. And you can do this even if you're focused on one specific area of your business, or maybe you're just running ads to one specific product line or service line. So that means you can just get this pop-up to show up for just the visitors of people that were interested in that journey by itself. It's a super easy fix to capturing more leads and potential revenue from existing traffic before we start trying to go chase all of this new traffic. Because today, most of you are going to find that getting more traffic from social media, getting more traffic from Google is actually an uphill battle. So we have to become more efficient with the traffic that we are getting. The next thing we want to talk about in this regard of trying to always chase traffic, where we're going to say we need to convert more of the traffic that's coming, is to really think about having landing pages on your website. You know, I can't tell you how many websites I go to on an annual basis for clients either in our inner circle or in our agency, and I will go to their website. I just did one yesterday, as a matter of fact. Great prospect out of the Midwest here in the United States, and their service business in the local market, business to consumer service business. The website looks amazing, but there's only one way for me to engage with their business, and that's to ask for a free quote. Ask for a free quote. And that only speaks to me if I'm ready to have them come to my house and perform a quote or give me some information about buying their service. But instead, I could have been presented with an invitation to download a resource, an invitation to inquire about how they approach the way that they do their work. There's a lot of different ways you can create something that will generate a lead that is before they're ready to ask for the quote. But as I browsed this website, and of course they reached out for help with our agency. We didn't end up connecting yesterday. They were traveling and had to reschedule. But I was going to literally talk to him about this very thing that I'm sharing with you right now. If I'm not ready to buy today, there was nothing else for me to do to engage in the business. And here's the big problem that I want you to get before we wrap this video up. If you don't provide another way for me to engage with your business, do not think that I'm probably coming back. Why? Because if I was not ready to get a quote from you, that means I had some other information in my mind that I wanted to get. And because it wasn't available on your website, guess where I'm going? I'm probably going back to Google, or I'm going back to social media, and I'm going to end up getting the information from one of your competitors, and I'm never going to make it back. And I know that sounds harsh, but this is the reality of us looking at marketing analytics for the last 14 years. It is not likely that people are coming back to your site. We're seeing return visitors dropping more and more and more. Why is that? Well, because we're on these devices and we have more information coming to us a mile a minute, whether it's from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Google, our friends, Facebook, everywhere. The minute I leave your website, you must just believe I'm not coming back. Not because I'm not interested, not because your reputation is bad, because it isn't, not because you don't have great 5-star reviews, which I'm sure you do, not because you don't deliver a great product or service. It's simply the way we operate today as humans, as consumers. So as a business owner who's operating in marketing, who's spending money on your marketing department or your ads and all of the content that you're distributing, we've got to maximize every opportunity, but not be obnoxious. We just have to give people something of value. And it's a super easy fix, okay? So 2 big ideas here. Number 1, understand where people are going on your website and what's appropriate for the journey that they're in. Present them an easy to engage with exit intent offer, right? It's super easy when you offer something relevant to someone for them to say yes and enter your world. That doesn't mean they're ready to buy today, which we talk about all the time, that most people are not ready to buy today. But don't make the mistake in not providing me some value with item number 2, which is presenting something of a landing page or an ebook, a white paper, or a resource guide. Give me something that helps me step into your world and understand your expertise, understand your value proposition, understand the way that you do business, so that when I'm ready, I'm going to already know who you are and you're going to be in my top of mind, so that when I'm ready to make a decision, I have a chance to choose you. Okay, this particular item is one of the things we do in the first 90 days. It is a game changer. By the way, what is this really going to do? What does the result really look like? Well, you could expect to convert maybe 1 to 2% more visitors, right? So you say, well, Daryl, that's not a big number, right? But here's the thing. If you currently get 1,000 leads a month, and then you get, just by doing this one thing, you're getting an extra 1 to 2%, maybe 3%. 3% is probably on the high side, but we have seen 3%. But why wouldn't we take the advantage with digital technology to get an extra 1 to 2% of visitors to our website to take a step towards our business? If you're selling something that's 500 and you get an extra 1 to 2% and you already get 1,000 leads, then what kind of impact can that be to your business when you put it on autopilot? This isn't something we change out every week, every month. We'll put these things in place sometimes for 3, 6 months, sometimes even 12 months, because they just last, especially when we said you're going to constantly be getting new visitors. I'm not arguing that you don't need new visitors. What I am saying is, let's make sure we're optimized for the visitors that you're currently getting. And this is one of the areas we spend time on in the first 90 days. And I would encourage you, if you haven't done so, audit closely your behavior statistics inside of your analytics package to look at where people are going to the most on your website, and then just step back and say, are we giving them a resource that could help them come into our world, know how we can help solve their problem without any friction or pain? And I guarantee you, this one little hinge could swing a very big door in your results. If you want to go any further with this, there are 2 links down below in the video. You can choose the path that makes the most sense with you to get help from us at our agency or join our inner circle. If not, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.